good evening, and good evening. Welcome, everyone, to the Upfront Mind, Body, Soul podcast, where I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond. And listen, tonight we're going to jump off a few weeks early because we know in February there's a couple of things we celebrate, but one of the things we celebrate is the word LOVE. And tonight, my special guest is April Battle. She's an author, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself. But I'm excited. Welcome here, April. Welcome to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. So I'm excited to hear about this book. So share with the audience who you are and just what inspired you for this book.
Good evening again. My name is April Battle, and thank you, Dr. Michelle, for having me. I'm April Battle. I live in Virginia, but originally from West Virginia. I have three children, 5 grandchildren that call me Nana, and I love spoiling them to death. I'm dealing with this book, with this journal. The idea and the inspiration was, unfortunately, but fortunately, I was in a relationship, and I asked him at the time, what do you like about me? And he wasn't able to tell me anything he liked about me. And that hurt a little bit. That hurt a lot. But it just, kind of woke me up a little bit, made me realize that if someone can't tell me what they like about me, am I likable? Am I lovable? So it just made me kind of dig inward and just start thinking about myself and what do I like and what do I need to feel loved?
Wow. Well, that's a good way to start. So this book, let me give you what the title of this book, audience. It is called Let Your Love Be Defined. This is a 30-day journal to create what your definition of love is. This is not nobody else's definition, but what your definition. And wow, April, I feel that thing when you say you ask. That's a question. Wait a minute. I'm really excited about this one. That's a question. If you're moving forward in your relationship, and see that when you asked that question to him, he wasn't able to give you anything. That was a sure enough sign. A sure enough sign. So, that's a challenge. That's a challenge right there, audience. Listen, that is a challenge right there. Ask what your significant other, maybe your spouse. What do you love about that person? What do you love? Because love is an action word, right? Love is that action word. And when you said that, that gave you something to look at. What do you love about me? That's a good question. Wow. That's making me think. But before audience, me and April had a conversation about the topic. What she was talking about is love. Because even in our journeys, we hear often about the agape love, the eros love. But did you not know that there are more than those that we usually hear? So I'm going to break down the Greek definition before I go into more with the story, because I think it's very important, audience, that you know these, because once you get this book, you'll be able to know what kind of love you're searching for, and even for yourself. So I'm going to begin with sharing what these loves are, which is very important, I think. And you need to get an ink pen. So I would say go grab yourself an ink pen for this, because I think you're going to really need to understand this and what the meanings behind it are. So for instance, as I said earlier, we got the eros love, which is a romantic type of love. That's like the physical stuff, all of that type of stuff. Next, as me and April are here, we have a filial love, which is a friendship love. And that could be, for whoever you combine, could be some work related people, people you meet, some people you have in your tribe. That's like the friendship love. Then you have the storge, which is a familiar love. And again, agape means the unconditional love. Next, we have the ludus, which is the playful love. And we had a conversation on that. Pragma, which is the practical love. Mania is obsessive. And the next we have is Felicia, which is self love. Those are the definitions of different types of love. So again, if you want these, you can email me back the email and we can give these out to you. But I think it's very important that you got the definition of what type of love these are. So as you go get this journal that April's talking about, and it's something that is going to be a helpful, useful tool for us. I mean, made me go with thinking, with this, Now you reflected on what inspired you to create this journal, basically because this was a personal issue.
Yes.
This was of a personal reflection of a question that you asked someone that you was involved with. So for this book, who would you say, April, would be the ideal audience for this journal? And what do you hope how does it impact them?
The ideal audience, the book is for mainly geared towards couples, because in life, and COVID hit and it just literally changed everything, even relationship wise and marriage wise. It changed so much. So the book is really fun for couples, but they don't have to work the journal together. It can be your own individual journal. And it's just kind of to remind you, why did I pick this person? Why did this person pick me? What does this person do that just makes me feel like I matter? Beyond those basic things we're taught, like he's a provider, she's a good mother. We're taught those things about love, but it's so much more. Like, for example, I like to laugh all the time. And a few years ago, I went through some tragic things in life, and I determined that I was going to laugh hysterically every day, at least once a day, no matter what. So I laugh at anything. I laugh at myself. Sometimes I laugh at nothing. That's important to me. That makes me who I am. So whomever I'm with, they need to have a sense of humor. And not everyone does, because I'm going to laugh. And if you're not laughing with me, that doesn't help me and keep me as who I am. It makes me feel like I have to shut down that part of me. And that's a major piece of me that I can't let go.
So that goes back to the playful love. So
Yes.
having that playful love, which is the ludus love is, one of those things that a characteristic, when you go find yourself, or that person has to have some of that ludus within their DNA. And that has to be comparable for you. See, again, you got to understand this is just a resource to guide you, or if you choosing the right person as well. Because these characteristics of love, wow, this is, I'm loving it. And it made me do a little bit more research on the question. It does. So, you have, people write journals all the time. And I'm a journal person. I'm like you. When I say you want to laugh, I'm like you. Every year around about fall time, I always come up with a concept of a journal, because we know if you're writing stuff, it actually helps you put them more into action, right? So with this journal, what is so unique compared to others in the market? What would you think would be the specific uniqueness of this journal?
Because again, this journal, what I think is unique about this particular journal is you get to really write out the things you can't say. In relationships and marriages, a lot of the time, we still don't always feel comfortable just being who we are and saying what we're really feeling, for fear of offending the person, or he's going to leave or she's going to leave if I really say what I'm really feeling. So this journal allows you to really get into depth. Again, it's a journal. It doesn't have to be used for a couple. It can be used for yourself, and your significant other doesn't even have to know you're doing the journal. It's just for you, and it can open conversation. If you've been in a relationship for a while or marriage, and maybe there's something that you in the journal, you're like, I really do need that, and that's who I am, but I'm afraid to say it. This will open up conversation that you should feel a lot better saying who you really are and being who you really are, and your significant other should accept that. If not accept that, you can work on a compromise to try to get to that point. But it's better to help you be open and honest. Even if you've been together for years, it's still always something we tend to hold back. Why are we holding back anymore with someone that we love?
Wow. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get you to share some specific prompts or features of the journal that that concept that you're really proud of. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back, and we're going to hear more about this. Let Your Love Be Defined, a 30-day journal for you to create the definition. Now, again, that's a powerful thing, because everybody has a different perspective of what love is. I always think about that song. I can't remember. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. So, hey, I want to know. I want to know. So, yeah, we'll talk about it. So we're going to take a quick break, everyone. Look, listen. You want to come back because you want to hear. You don't want to miss this, because before we end the show, I think I'm going to go back over those types of love. So when you get this book, you'll be able to know what type of love you're going to be writing. And then you can have these definitions. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the episode of Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, where I am your host, Dr. Michelle Bowling Hammond, and I am here with author April Battle. She is here tonight discussing her newest journal, Let Your Love Be Defined, a 30-day journal for you to create your definition of love. And when we talked or came back here earlier, before you, if you come on, or you just joining us, or you're going to catch the replay, there are different specific types of love. We always hear about the agape, the unconditional, the eros, and all that, but there's some other, which I'm going to share for a recap for those who might not got here earlier, but I'm going to share for the recap. So April, before, we were talking about this on, the portion of why you want this, and, can you share just one more specific prompt that you want this journal to be, and how particularly proud of you for doing this?
Okay, so one of the prompts in the journal on one of the days is what is a tradition that you have that your partner supports or you want them to support? Now, one thing I do every year, and my children know, and anyone that knows me knows, around the end of the year, beginning of November through the end of the year, through December 31st, from November 1st to December 31st, it's the holidays. Don't come to me with any drama, any mess. Life happens, right? But we're not going to stress about it during this time. We're not going to worry. We're going to do what we want to do, because the holidays, especially Christmas, are a time of peace. That's Christ came to give us peace, right? So it's a time of peace. And I remember growing up amongst the turmoil in the household growing up. I remember the holidays being a time of peace. So whomever I'm with has to know, whatever it is, no, I'm not dealing with it. From November 1st to December 31st, time of peace for me. So you may want to get that to me by October 31st or on January 1st, but we're going to be at peace through the whole holiday season, no matter what happens. I need to be with someone that understands that I may just brush some things off. Yeah, we'll take care of it. That's just me. So that's a tradition. And my children know, they be like, Mom, I'm the same way now. I understand why you said that. Time of peace. That's a major tradition for me every year. And we need to know and that makes me who I am. So my spouse needs to, or my significant other needs to know that about me. That's important, because I don't want him to think I'm brushing everything off or not paying attention or I don't care. It's the holidays represent a time of peace for me. That is so important.
Wow. As you sitting over here, my mind is studying. Look, I'm focusing, but my mind is just going through a whole bunch with this. It's just so, Now, did you face any challenges with creating this book? If so, how did you get past it?
Yes, I did face some challenges. Like you said earlier, there are tons of journals published and written every day. And I didn't want it to just be up, here we go, another journal. I didn't want people to feel that way about it. I wanted it to be something that people could really relate to, that we don't really talk about much. We don't talk about what we really need, or the fact that we're not getting what we need when it comes to love. So I doubted myself in creating it, and what would the prompts be, what and not to be bland and just monotonous in the wording, just for people to come alive. Know that, and the journal is good for single people as well. I wanted to add that in there, because single mother, youngest child just went to college, and April dating as a single mother is different than April dating now. I honestly don't know what I want or what I need in love. I don't know. So I'm using the journal to define this April, this phase of the journey. What does April need in love? So I know so many people are coming to where their children are leaving home, or just so many things are changing in their lives and they're still looking for love, or they have a significant other and they just are at a different phase of life. So just being willing to go ahead and share, because journal is actually my story. This is me. This is what I've lived. This is what I'm living now. So the fear was making sure it just wasn't another journal of what's already out there, was the major feel. So I said fear. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. I ran it by a few people, to be honest. It's like, yeah, I need that, April. You need to get that done. I need that, because that's different. And we need to know what we need. We need to know what love is for us.
It goes back. That song is in my head now. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. And I want to know. That is something. That is something that a lot of people jump into these relationships. It goes that this can be a relationship.
That was me. That was
Yeah.
me.
A lot of people jump into relationships. I see it all the time that they really don't get that failure, that self-love first before they
Yes.
jump into the next one. And then they wonder why that baggage from the other relationship is going into this other relationship. So
Yep.
definitely this is a good resource tool. And it leads us to the next question. So what would you recommend a user like saying, hey, I'm hearing them talking about this book. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to show you where you can go get this book. It'll be very beneficial to you. So right there across the screen, there is the link where you can link up and go get this book, because I think it would be very helpful to you. Get, as my friend Victoria says, get 20 of them.
Yes, definitely.
Get 20 of them. And I would say it would be a workplace tool too, because you got all these personalities, all these different personalities and jobs, and some people can't get along on the jobs. This would actually be something where it can be a tool for that. But for a daily practice of a routine for self-care, how would someone incorporate this into a self-care routine? And I know you know about that because you massage therapist, we in that field of the holistic health
Yes.
and wellness. So how would that person can incorporate this in their self-care?
I would say a person can incorporate this journal into their self care. You have to understand what self care is. Self care is not just, oh, I'm just taking some time to myself, or I'm making sure I'm drinking water. The real purpose of self care is to make a change and to be free. Because if I'm always on the go and always on the go and always busy, and my body is in declining health in some capacity because I'm not taking care of myself, I need to be free, right? So self care gives you the chance to help yourself, your body, and your mind and your heart to be free. That's the purpose. It's not just doing the same thing over and over. You have to have a goal in mind when it comes to your self care. Why am I doing this? What am I trying to accomplish? What am I trying to reach? So, the journal, it's a matter of the heart. You can write out, even if you can use it to write out how you've chosen the wrong relationship, and write your way to being free, to know I have this standard, this person can't meet this standard. If it's a couple that are already together, you're not going to throw it away, but you're going to work towards the self-care within yourself first, and then as a couple to try to see how can we get on the level where I'm getting what I need, you're getting what you need as well. But before we can do it for each other, we have to do it for ourselves. So it affords that opportunity to just, in the self-care realm, just get it out, start writing it out, and being honest with yourself first about what you need, and even what you're giving that may not be meeting the necessary requirements.
Wow. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back to the wrap up, because before we wrap up though, I want to go over those different types of love. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. And again, I'm here with my guest, April Battle, who is here talking about her newest journal that you want to go right on over and order it right here. Here is the link that you want to order. But when you go and order, I want you to think about these different types of love. And we shared these earlier, but I think before we leave the show, I think I'm going to share these again because I think it's very
Yes.
impactful that you understand what type of love that you're going to define. First, you have Eros love, which is the romantic love. That means that's the physical, all that type of stuff in it. Then you have the philia, which is friendship love. Then you have the storge, which is the familial love. Agape, which is unconditional. Ludus is the playful. Pragma is just practical. Mania is obsessive love. And philatia is the self-love. Philatia, sorry. But those are the types of love and how they are defined and what they initiate and what they informative of what they are. So when you go order this book, let your love be defined. How are you defining your love? Which one are you? That question that she put out to her relation when she was in a relationship and the person couldn't come back and give her anything on that, that is a sign. That is a sign. That is something that why, what do you love about me? First of all, are we in this because it was just a familiar love? You need to know the distinction. Because if you're looking for the unconditional, but yet that person is the familiar, they just are playful, what is you doing? So you're going to define it and you're going to really self-work on this with this journal. So there's a link, everyone. I want you to go purchase it, find out and define your love. Now, just because you might give this to somebody else, and again, this is another tool because everybody's definition of love is going to be totally different. But here's the key. How are we going to sync this thing together if we're going to be in a relationship? We got to have a discussion about it. We have to communicate about it. So that is one of the powerful things that I know that you can happen, because if you want this thing to really work, you're going to have to break down some and have some communication and discussion on about it. So where are we at? Where are we meeting at? Maybe redefine it over. As they tell you, if you can't get it right, you got to bring it. You got to work at it, just like your goal sheet. What are we pressing for in this love relationship? So I'm just saying, I'm not no practical relationship person, but I'm just saying. So, April, the last question before we end the show. What do you hope that the reader will achieve or discover by using this journal?
Well, by using this journal, I really hope that the reader or user really find out who they are. Ultimately, you have to know, again, like Dr. Michelle said, what is love? What are the types of love? What do you need at that time? Which type of love are you needing? Really, to get a sense of freedom in our hearts, to really be free to speak up about what we need and when we're not getting what we need as far as love is concerned, and being okay with letting something go that's not meeting your needs in whatever capacity. It's okay. Just to really, for us to really define to ourselves what love is. And because I don't think we know. I know I don't, but I know we can. We can know.
Right. Well, April, this has been an awesome show. So again, everyone, I want you to go and purchase this book because, hey, and I also gave you the deals. Go back and read the replay. Share this video, because so many people don't know what love is. And right now, what the world needs is more love.
Yes.
So that familiar love, unconditional love, that's what the world, people are hurting all over. I mean, by the choices of not their own, some of them are, but just some tragic stuff is going on around us each and every day. So I would say, get this, share your love, show your love and kindness, but know what you're going to define your love is to be. So again, April, I want to say thank you so much for sharing this Let Your Love Be Defined, this 30-day journal. to create your definition of love. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And audience, we want to thank you for handling it and staying with us. And we appreciate each and every share, like, and even if you catching the replay, I constantly thank you so much for just coming upon the platform. It's just amazing where this platform has gone and it has taken me. And I thank each and every one, all my guests. I thank you, past, previous, and this won't be your last time coming here because I'll talk to you after show because my mind is going on some things. So with this, so so yeah. But audience, if you know, I end my show every week with a mantra. You know, I even wrote it in. I was saying people write in with your different mantras that you can, you know, a lot of people like to hear their names shouted out through the waves and the radio or whatever. But for some reason, two people did it when I started it back out last year. But you know what? It must not be meant to be. It must be this for me to say this every week. So here it is. And you know, if you don't know, you will know today what it is. If you feel that you're not loved, know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Bolden Hammond. Until next week, we'll see you.